Hello and welcome back to the maybe 3 people who will actually see this and the other preceding videos. I figure this one gets to be a fun, like, behind-the-scenes type video, where instead of using my masterful editing skills to throw something top-tier together, I'll just kind of lazily ramble. It will still be a top 10 though. This will be the top 10 scrapped video ideas in Star Wars Battlefront 2015. Now, my original idea was to have 10 videos on each of the 10 days leading up to the 10-year anniversary of Star Wars Battlefront 2015. However, I didn't realize that I started counting from 0 instead of 1. Which means that I had to throw together an extra video when I was like, oh wait, hold on, wait, what the fuck, when did I start doing this? Like, and I saw the 7, like the 7th of November, and my brain then processed, like, okay, like I need to make 10, and the anniversary is the 17th, therefore, like, these are my 10 days starting now, so, like, I've got to, like, start uploading it, like, today. Which means that my super awesome, fantastic, on-the-day video gets to, like, stand alone as its own special number 11. The process for choosing the video ideas was very simple, which was to throw together anything that I felt could be funny enough, but not too funny. Because if it's too funny, then you've put too much effort in, and it becomes by default unfunny. Then at the same time, I realized that the video ideas that I had laid out, when it's like, okay, I'll just throw up this, and this, were too serious. Which, again, makes it so that everything is unfunny. So it was very difficult to strike that perfect balance. It was very important that the first one that goes up seems like it's basically a real video. It can't be completely real, because then it seems like you're sweating too much. These are the important decisions that go into shitposting. Anyway, there ended up a lot of ideas that I just had to get rid of for one reason or another, hence this list. The first, number 10, is the top 10 skins. I wanted to just rank some of the in-game appearances, and I'd be like, yeah, the Shore Trooper, that bad boy's number 1. If you see a shit player with this, it's a joke, but you see a sweaty motherfucker burst in with this thing, oh, you're in for a bad time. And at, like, last place would be, like, the Shadow Trooper, because all sweaty faggots use it, and the blonde woman with the ponytail, because, like, everyone's got that equipped. At number, like, 1 or number 2 would have been, this, I think it's like Rebel Head, I don't know, probably like 20-something, 27 or something like that. Helmet and beard. And it's an older guy, like in his 50s or something. But when you get that skin on one of the, what's it called, Sorrow Sub maps, it removes his helmet, so he has grey hair but a brown beard. That would have been S tier, that would have been a great skin. However, when I was like, okay, I'll just open the game real quick, and like grab a match with that skin. Impossible. Game's too dead. Impossible. The match, so that, the only game modes where that map appears are the 40 players, Blast, and Drop Zone. That means 12 player is out of the question because for some reason people only play fucking cargo in it. I don't know why. And the matches I did find were a group of people trying to farm for trophies, but doing it wrong. And a 40 player mode where the rebel side was full permanently. I managed to stay in that match, like sitting there through this fucking boring ass gameplay until I got to that map. But then, by that point, even though the 40 player had taken like half an hour to start, once it had, only people on the Imperial side were leaving. So I could not swap over to Rebels and get any, like, capture of the skin. So I just gave the fuck up. Like, it was impossible. The game's flat out just too dead to properly showcase every skin. At number 9 I was gonna make another top 5, bottom 5 split with the most and least respected players. Yeah, okay, so I can see in the least respected, the selection of people that I had was like, okay, yep, these will be the 5. It was too serious, and I looked at it and said, well, that's not funny. Like, they're just actually probably, like, some of the least respected, and I'd have explained a bit why. I'd be like, this guy pissed a whole bunch of people off, this guy, the way he played, bothered people, like, here was this drama with this one. But it was just, that's too serious. And then at the same time, the ones for the most respected, I don't mind listing. One of them I was just gonna insert some random guy, like a fucking Plunge Bob 10 type guy, and I'd have been like, at number 2, Plunge Bob 10. This is a player whose very name commands authority. Like, shit like that. But the other 4 were gonna be, Decker and Flux. Because, like, from the day I started playing, if there was one name that's gonna be like this is a cool guy. This is someone who, like, he's just a cool guy, like, no problems with him. From basically everyone, it was Decker. There would have been the Xbox player Prodicate, for the, like, degree that people over there suck him off as like, holy shit, man, you don't get it. He was, like, insane. And he was, from what I could tell, like, his gameplay was just very good for the time, sort of thing. There would have been Men Phalanges, again in that same sense, looking back over the history of the game's community, seeing the players who people, like, will bring up by name, and that's someone who would be like, you want to improve, you gotta check out this guy's videos, this guy's guides. And he was considered, as far as I understand, at one point to be the best player. Or at least one of the most knowledgeable players. Also in this list would have been a guy who I do not know, to the point where I don't even know his username for sure. But it was a guy who died quite early on in, like, the game's competitive scene. And so his friends commemorated him by using accounts that all shared, I think it was similar names, I don't think they were identical, but that anyway kind of, like, paid respect to him when they played in one of the tournaments. And that is kind of the main thing that convinced me, like, okay, that's not a video I'm gonna do, because as well as it being just a bit too serious, it would have, like I said, it would have had just, like, this random guy inserted in there, and that would have been kind of, like, the gag of the video. Like, you have these more serious entries, and then you've got, like, the one wild card in there, and it's like, wait, what the fuck? But I felt like that guy, because like I said, I don't even know his name. I think his username began with CH and then several numbers, but I didn't know him. And because of that, I don't feel like it's my place to kind of include him in there, but he has to be in there, because that is one of the most respected. And so it's easier just to say, well, I don't really want to take, like a fucking actual dead guy who people genuinely do care about, and like meant something to people, and include that as part of my series of joke videos. That to me, I don't know, it just felt in poor taste, and something that that would have been one of like the serious segments in it, and so I would have had to go out of my way to just like, okay, I'm gonna like have to learn about this guy, and it feels disingenuous to be like, hey, I really want to learn about this guy for my comedy video. Like, yeah, no, that's just not the way I would have wanted to approach it, so yeah, it's just easier to scrap the video instead. Number 7 here. There's a YouTuber called Sunlight Blade who made countdown videos for the Dark Souls games. And with the group I used to play with, the way that he opened one of the videos was just something that we would repeat as a joke, just because of the way he said it. It'd like start the video and be like, "Hello everybody, Sunlight Blade here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 epic kills." Right, and so I wanted to parody that in some way. The kind of ideas I had were to take his narration and overlay it with clips that would be close enough fitting to like what he was describing, to like recreate the video with that. Another one was to play the video and repeat everything he said as he said it, so that like the entire video was narrated in that way, either over that original video or again over like clips. But it just didn't seem funny enough to me. I couldn't think of a way to make it especially funny. It just never fully formed into like a concrete idea that I could then be like, okay, yep, that's what I'm gonna throw together. At number 6 is food, so it would have been like top 10 culinary dishes inspired by Star Wars Battlefront 2015 or something similar to that. But I don't know anything about food. Like, for starters, I'm vegan and pretty much always have been, so I already know like nothing about the majority of food that people eat. On top of that, I don't like food. Like, I eat like once a day if my body starts being like, you are hungry. Like, I'm fat because I don't exercise. Like, I don't fucking like food. I've seen fat-ass fucking Americans who'll like go through like 3 liters of Coca-Cola, like 17 burgers for breakfast. Nah, like, I think it would have been a decent idea if I knew anything about food. If I could have sat there and been like, okay, like, the only food I can think of right now is fucking ratatouille because of, like, the little mouse, right? Well, he's a rat. Clues in the name. But to be like, coming in at number 8 is fucking ratatouille. This dish was first inspired after a grudge match settled on Imperial Hangar, and I could have like thrown something together like that. It probably could have been funny too, if I knew anything about it. But yeah, just lacking that knowledge. The only way it could have been done would be to either get someone else or get a chatbot to write out the 10 ideas for me, or to look up, I don't know, like, top 10 iconic dishes or something like that, and then try and rapidly learn about the history of each of these dishes, to then try and insert Battlefront puns into them in some way. Yeah, like, it could have been a decent video, but not made by me. Number 5, top 10 maps. That again was similar to the skins, where I was going to be like, okay, yeah, here are the like top 10. I don't know if I would have limited it to a mode. I don't know if it would have been like, here are the top 10 blast maps. Here are the top 10 Walker Assault maps, something like that. I don't know. Again, it could have spilled over into becoming top 10 modes and like ranking the modes in the game. Off the top of my head, I think Jawa Refuge Night would have peaked on whichever list it showed up. But again, it just became difficult when the game is so dead to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just grab footage on each of these maps. Can't be done. Just cannot be done. I'd have to just have like stills of the menu there, and that wouldn't have been good enough for me. Like, for an idea that low effort would require higher effort within the video, and it just wasn't possible. At number... Wait, which one am I on? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I think I listed that as number 5, because I've been counting from 1 to 5, in which case that was number 6. And number 5 was going to be, like, top 10 marriages ended in Star Wars Battlefront 2015. It could have again also spilled over into like top 10 lives ruined by Star Wars Battlefront 2015, and incorporated more general negative consequences of people becoming so devoted to the game. But it started anyways, like top 10 marriages ruined by Star Wars Battlefront 2015. Which I'm not certain that I know off the top of my head 10, but I know it could have easily been like 5, and if it can be 5, a video can be stretched out of that. That was similar to the most and least respected one, where I felt that it just would have been in poor taste. Not because I give a shit about any of the people who had been mentioned, because basically all of them are just dicks. Like, there's a reason their fucking marriage failed. They're not the greatest people. But I don't like the idea of just fucking hammering into someone who cannot reply. Like, I wouldn't mind sitting there and shit-talking each of these people. Just, like, well, unless, fuck it, if they want to fly out, yeah, face to face. That's not the issue. It's not a case of, like, oh, I don't want to rustle any jimmies. It just feels too opportunistic to, what is a bitch move? To sit there and be like, hey, this guy, yeah, here's his personal life. Look, it fell apart. Fuck him. Like, like, yeah, again, like, no problem sitting there to some guy. Feel free to just shit talk someone like that, like, directly, and be like, hey, buddy, fuck you, you're shit. Everything you like is bad. Your life is bad. You should not be fucking alive, buddy. Like, that is one thing. But to do that in a way that doesn't allow them to respond, like, who the fuck are you saying that for? Who are you saying that to? Like, what's the point of that? And you're like, yeah, check this out. I'm gonna hit this guy while he's down. I'm gonna make sure that I snipe him from a safe distance. Don't want to take any blowback from this one. Nah. So yeah, just in too poor taste. I think it could work if the, I don't know, like, community was more active, like in its prime, in its peak, everyone fucking at each other's throats. I feel like dropping that right in there would be like fucking gold. Because then each of the people can respond in whatever they want to. If you just do that by yourself, then yeah, it just kind of makes you a dick. Number 4 would have been top 10 hate mail, like top 10 pieces of hate mail received. Or sent. Thinking about it, I could have included like hate mail received and sent. Again, this one feels, I don't know, it feels kind of petty, to be like, yeah, I'm gonna search through, like, 10 years apparently. I mean, I haven't been playing that long, but I'm gonna search through over half a decade's worth of messages and be like, yeah, in 2018, this guy, he fucking called me a rim rider. Like, it just feels kind of, I don't know. Well, yeah, okay, no, I know how to explain it. If you take it too seriously, then it's petty. If you sit there and be like, yeah, check this out, this guy actually broke down and lost his shit, then that feels a bit kind of like, okay. And, but then if you're too wacky with it, that, I don't know, that just doesn't seem very funny. You can't present something stupid as stupid, otherwise kind of the joke is lost. You have to take it more seriously when it's something silly. My favorite piece of hate mail, I think the best piece of hate mail that I've ever gotten was for Battlefront, but it could have been for Overwatch or for Honor or something like that. And the guy just sent me the phrase, "You're a virgin," with Nathan Drake giving a thumbs up as a sticker. Brilliant. Conveyed every single thing he wanted to. Like, that's all you need. No, like, no anger, no, like, I'm gonna try and really insult this guy. No, just a flat out, "You're a virgin." Thumbs up. Yeah, no, that was great. Again, though, like, a lot of the better pieces of hate mail I would have gotten where someone's, like, really breaking down will have been fucking removed by PlayStation safety. So a lot of them would have just been lost anyway. And again, it kind of feels... I don't like the idea of, like, yeah, no, look at this. I'm gonna bring up, like, this fucking exchange from, like, 5 years ago. Unless it's something, like, really great. And off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that's, like, really great. Like I said, my favorite was that one message. But I can't think of anything that's so incredible. I'll be like, oh, yeah, no, I can use this, and I can use this. I'd have to sit there and troll through all these messages across dozens of accounts, and it's just not worth it in the end. At number 3 would have been top 10 Battlefront memes. Right, there are 2 problems with this one. The first one is that the player base outside of the few people that I played with are fucking stupid and cannot understand jokes, cannot make original jokes, and what they do is they just kind of spam repeat something over and over and over. I think on some Discord account I must still be in. I don't even remember which ones. I think there was like I don't know, like a No Life Bitch Discord server and a Sweaty Bitch Discord server. And I think I was in each of them on some account. But I don't know which account, so I wouldn't even be able to go check. I just know that when I left them, I didn't get kicked on whatever the fuck that other account was. So I was able to see a couple funny things because of that. I was able to see, for example, that I straight up got referred to as, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but I got referred to as, like, he who must not be named. Like, I fucking screenshot that shit. That is genius to me. You're telling me I'm fucking Voldemort to those people? Like, at that point in time, you want to tell me that these niggas were sat there like, holy shit, he's about to fucking bring some Death Eaters to come and get me. Nah, that's genius. Like, he who must not be named. Fucking incredible. There was another one I remember, like, there was a poll or something held, and it was gonna be for the, like, most hated player, but the way that it had to be phrased when it was put up was like, most hated player besides Call a Magician. Genius. Fucking genius. Like, that's a trophy right there. Like, I've got that game platinumed, I think, thanks to the help of a certain woodland dweller. But that right there, that's the real trophy. That's the fucking diamond trophy. That's the diamond avatar. That right there is the fucking ALV premium trophy. But I remember seeing there was like this GIF, and it talked about like different guns being good and bad, and they spammed that shit non-fucking stop for over weeks, probably months, just non-stop, right? There were like messages, someone would send some random message, and then like fucking Twitch chat, people would just repost that same message over and over and over again, like it's the peak of comedy. They'd be like, hey guys, remember 20 seconds ago when this nigga said this? What the fuck is that? Suffice to say, these people cannot fucking create jokes, and by extension, cannot create memes. With the exception of anything which is essentially just designed to, like, harass someone. There'd be a few things where, I mean, yeah, thinking of my boy, the Alv, right? Where people would just be like, post him and be like, hey, look, it's this guy. look, it's a photo of him. Or, I don't know, one of the random fucking Cronus kids where it'd be someone who's, I don't know, like 13 or something, and they post like a picture of them and it's a child. Cause like what do you expect? And they'd be like, holy shit, look, it's this guy. Wow, doesn't he look silly? And that's being posted by like a 14-year-old who hit puberty like slightly earlier, right? So he looks more like a teenager than a kid. And so to him, peak comedy is like, hey, look, this kid who's my same age looks younger, even though that's perfectly normal. Like, what the fuck is that, right? And so I wouldn't make a video about that. I wouldn't make a video about like, here's the time where the Battlefront player base spammed a GIF. Here are some examples of them trying to like insult and harass each other. Cause that's the thing too. It'd very rarely be the case where it's just like people doing it and be like, yeah, no, I'm like friends with this guy and play with them. No, it'd usually be like, okay, this is someone who has been pushed out. Okay, now let's all jump on them, guys. Let's fucking tear into them, guys. And again, that's too mean-spirited. That's in, like, fucking poor taste. I don't like that. And then the other issue is that the jokes that the group of people that I played with had would usually be in some way in jokes. That's fine. But they would be in jokes that directly reference personal information. That's not fine. Like, I could have gone like, okay, yeah, like, number one, the nice buddy. Because the nice buddy is genius. That shit managed to get from PS4 to PC. I have no clue how, still to this day. But, yeah, no, like, that shit actually managed to fucking cross platforms, a silly little in-joke. But again, the nice buddy is a close-up photograph of someone. That is perfectly fine as, like, a joke for people who know that person, are on good terms with that person. It's not fine to be like, okay guys, so for like number one in here, here's a photograph of a dude. No, he didn't know I'm gonna put this here. No, like he doesn't know that, like, I don't know, fucking his face is just slapped there online as part of like this comedy video. And again, it just doesn't feel in good taste by any means to be like, hell, like, fucking half the things Egg and Base ever said could make it in there. But again, it's not in good taste to be like, okay, here is some random in-joke made by someone else that, as far as they know, like, begins and ends there. To then take that and be like, okay everyone, here's this. I don't think that that's in good taste. I think that it could be made a funny video. Like, regardless of taste, it could still be made a very funny video. I could spend like one half of it being like, yeah, okay, so like, here's the shit that these people think is funny. It's not. Here's some shit that's actually funny. It is. Like, that could be a solid video, but it has to both step into, okay, and this is going to be talking about people actually trying to negatively impact someone, and this one is going to be talking about personal information, like, shared among friends. So the video dies. At number 2 is top 10 alt accounts. Now, this could have been one of two things. I think originally what made it click for me was that I could have done, like, here are, like, my favorite, like, 10 accounts that I have had. And then, like, off the top of my head, there's, like, a few decent ones in there. There was Pray the Slay Away with, like, this Pride controller avatar with the idea of, like the fucking Pray the Gay Away shit, but it's like, oh, you can try your best, but you can't pray the slay away. It's like they fucking lay into you. There's Burger Cop, which I know a certain Puerto Rican truly admires. I did see, the other day, the About Me that I had for that account for Burger Cop was like, fucking, yeah, Burger Cop serving up justice with a side of fries. Like, that shit's brilliant. Then there'd obviously be like, okay, like the Annie Wazzy account would be up there. Probably fucking True Best for the hijinks involved there. Yeah, there could have easily been a video in that, but then I would have to go through all the accounts that I have had, and including name changes. I think that number exceeds 100. I think it's around 130, something like that. Because I made loads before name changes were a feature. So anytime that it'd be like, okay, this is a funny username that I want to like fucking throw into a lobby, I'll do this. So yeah, something like Burger Cop, for example. That would be like, okay, yeah, no, like I want to, because that was going to be a shared account as well. They'd be like, yeah, no, we can just drop in on Burger Cop, where you've got to make the new Burger Cop account. And I never minded grinding new accounts. I find that much more fun than just going in with everything unlocked. I think it's much more interesting to be limited than have to go through that process of like putting together your loadout. Gives you a real sense of pride and accomplishment. But it'd just be very inconvenient. On top of that, a lot of them, because of name changes, would just be gone. There'd be something else. Like very high up on the list would be the second Color Magician account. One of the 3 accounts that I used to take the fucking Mortal Kombat X leaderboard, number 1, 2, 3 in the world. Right, that account was great for that. Because you look and be like, wait, what the fuck? Color Magician and Color Magician? Like when I played with Jay-Z, we would show up on both those accounts, and people would genuinely think that like we were hacking in some way. That was back in 2017. And when people see that, they see like 2 identical accounts, it fucking blew their minds. Because people just weren't doing that yet, like we fucking popularized it. We would see like some random player who had like an L or an I in their name, and be like, okay, yeah, no, like, fuck this, let's just be that guy. I remember, I think the earliest ones that we did, I remember there was a Clearly Confused account, there was a Tooley account, there was a BFB Kingslayer account, there was a Colossus account, a B-Walls account. Like, there were quite a few of those that would be taken by either me or someone that I was playing with. If it was someone that like we weren't playing with, sort of thing, so that we weren't coming in at like 2 at the same time, then it'd usually be for the sake of like, okay, here's some random guy, let's freak him out by having him play against himself. Like someone joins into a game like, wait, what the fuck, I'm on the other side? Especially if you can make the account look like theirs, like get the same avatar, set up the profile screen, whatever it's called, the same. Yeah, just so that someone gets that momentary like, wait, what the fuck? Because that's interesting, like, that's fun. That's something that'll like make that fucking day more interesting. Like, you opened your Battlefront game, you were just gonna spend like 3 hours mindlessly shooting, but that night, like, you were there like, wait, what? That's me. What? How are they doing that? And it just spices things up a bit. The other direction that the video could have gone is just top 10 alt accounts in general. It's not ones that I or someone that I play with had made, but just an account that someone else had at some point, that had some kind of significant, well, yeah, just quality to it that made it stand out. Like, off the top of my head, I could have had Elv's BFM account in there, BFM Centurion. I could have been like, yeah, no, like, this shit fucking Russell Jimmy's. I could have had, say, like, the Veritas Eterna account in there. That would have been fun to bring up. I could have been like, this account was quite mysterious. No one ever figured out who it truly was in the end. Stuff like that. I'm trying to think of other, like, alt accounts that, like, really stood out in some way, because there definitely have been some. I guess the, what's it called, the Little Wrath Skulls could have been in there when they all started using, like, animal account names for some reason, like Froggy and I don't remember the others. Fucking Doggy, I don't know. But like when they tried pulling that shit, I remember there was supposed to be like people losing their shit when Euladay had SWL Illuminated play on his account. And like after that he changed his name from Chewbacca to German Chewbacca. Now here's something interesting that a lot of people don't know. You can just change your name back. Right? Now Euladay is, to be frank, kind of retarded, right? So he never did this. What he did instead is he made his name Chewbacca with an underscore. Like he paid money for that, to put that underscore at the end of his name. When all you have to do is send a message to PlayStation and be like, hey, yeah, no, change my name back. And you just have your old name back for free. Like, is that straightforward? Like, at one point, I changed the AnyWazzy account to Deadliest Player. Right? And then someone was like, nah, AnyWazzy, that was an iconic name. Like, nah, that shit was funny. Oh, okay, so I just changed it back. There's nothing stopping anyone from doing that. So every time you see someone, and they've done some shit like, oh, well, now I can't remember who it was. There was some, I think it was like one of those Epoch guys or something like that. I don't even remember all their names. I think it was the one who had like a tongue or something as his avatar. I think that one was Alpha Fanatic, Alpha Misogynist. It was someone like that anyway. Oh no, it was I think it was Touch My Wookie that I'm thinking of, and he went like through 5 different names or some shit, trying to get it close back to what it used to be, because these people just, I don't know, they don't read. They can't read how these features work. And be like, oh, I want my old name back. Alright, here. But yeah, no, like that could have been a solid video, because it gets to pinpoint these certain moments where some random account shows up and does something. Could be like, yeah, hey, like, guys, you ever heard of True Legit? Well, fucking get ready for this. And just, yeah, like, focus on, like, okay, I know this guy wasn't especially significant before, but then after the name change. Like, I know the German players really hyped up, I can't remember what he was. I don't remember if he was, I think he was SWL Jiren. I think he was an SWL. I've completely forgotten which his main account was. I think he was just some shit like BFB Immortal or BFB fucking Destroyer or something like that. But anyway, like, he was just some random fuck off no one cares about account. But then the Germans, after he switched his name, started using, I think it was a mouse he switched to? I don't know. I know he got like rapid fire and shit, but I think he swapped to a mouse too. And after that, the Germans were like, oh my god, this guy's unstoppable. He must be like the best player. And yeah, just like based around the name change. And yeah, I think that could have been a pretty solid video. Just to go over some of those. But again, I don't really like the idea of like pinpointing out individual people in a way that could end up as pure shit talk. Not as the focus of the video anyway. Like, I don't mind in passing just shit talking someone. But to like dedicate a segment to it, to like spend time on that I don't really like. Like there were videos that I put up that did like refer to specific people. Yeah, like, okay, so there's the top 10 best players video. That is, I think, not a disrespectful video. I think the focus of it, as far as I'm concerned, is like hyping people up that at some point will have in some way been associated with the idea of best player. I think like the most disrespectful one on there is probably Eric Wynn, just because other people shit talk him a lot. But again, like, as far as my understanding, is the case that, like, at some point there was like, okay, like, everyone rank themselves, or maybe he just did it himself, I don't know. But that at some point he had, like, said, yes, like, I am the best. And so other people would run on that as a joke. That it'd either be like, I don't know, like, these teams, like, we're lucky it's this balanced. If Eric was in here, it'd be over. Or just outright insulting him as like, wow, that guy thought he could say that, fuck him. And I think the way it's in that video is fine, because I don't care about either of those things, really. I just like the idea of, this guy like says he's the best, alright, take his word for it. I don't want that problem. If it wasn't him, like, it probably would have been this dude called, I think he was Dr. Stroke My Yoke. I think that's who said it. I remember a guy posted on Reddit at one point saying, like, yeah, I am the best. I will throw down with anyone. And then was just, like, dog shit at the game, right? So he could have easily been up there. And then it's just a balance of, well, okay, this is someone who literally only I know about compared to someone who more people would know about and therefore get more entertainment out of the video from. Yeah, so I think as long as it kind of takes that focus where it's like on board with it type humor rather than just like fucking punching someone to the ground type humor, then I think it's fine. But a few of the people who would have come up in that video are fucking pieces of shit. So it would have ended up as me just like, nah, fuck this guy, look at him, look at him, look at him. Before getting to the number one, I was gonna acknowledge a few videos that turned out slightly differently in some way. The most recent one, Top 10 Bible Verses, that one was originally going to have some different ones that were like recommended to me. It was going to be like more distorted, so that the speaking was inaudible, kind of in the style of a PS1 game intro, where the mixing is just so bad that you can't hear what the person's saying. But I already did that for one of the videos, and I don't really want to like repeat the focus of a joke twice, sort of thing. So instead I was just like, okay, I'll just make this super serious and just flat out fucking narrate these things start to finish. I did consider what would have been very funny, is top 10 books of the Bible, and to like genuinely sit there and narrate like the entire book. So say for example Luke, to narrate all of Luke. But then it crosses over into, okay, I think that would be funny, however, I also think I don't want to spend that much time on it. So instead I came to like the compromise with myself. Well, okay, I will have some shorter ones in here that would make it the like length of like one of the other videos, like around 10 minutes. But then some of the other ones, I'm just gonna like narrate much more extensively. And at the beginning of that video, like, it gets a taste of it, because I did just like a couple verses from, which book was that? I want to say Mark? Maybe Matthew? I think the first one was from Matthew. So I did like a couple verses from Matthew, but then I did all of Ezekiel 1, which is like triple, quadruple, 5 times the length. And so you get like initially like, oh, okay, like this could go on for a while, but then there's a couple that get knocked through like rather quickly, and then it ends with one that's like 10 minutes, like 15 minutes of just narration of the same thing. And I think that's funny. I think that it's funny to be like, oh yeah, no, we're at number 2, wait, what the fuck, why is there so much left? Like, that's funny to me. The top 10 players could have originally included more jokes, like I mentioned for the Respect one, where I could have just thrown in someone completely random, just like gone through all my gameplay and be like, okay, in like fucking 2018, some guy killed me with a scalp pistol while I was on half health. Stick that guy in at number 3. Yeah, it could have been something like that. The best and worst guns video, that one is the only one done through Share Factory, because I wanted to make sure that at least one of them had that well, for starters, had that shitty fucking Battlefront intro that so many people left unedited at the start of theirs. Like, yeah, no, that's funny to me, but then to also just have it be so low quality as a video itself, that's funny to me. Oh yeah, so the top 10 Battlefront games, that was originally just going to be a list of random games that I had gameplay saved of, like, at number 8, Beyond Two Souls, or like fucking Beyond Two Battlefronts, something like that, and then just put gameplay there of that game and narrate it like it's Battlefront or something. But then when I went to do it, I found out that if I count, there's actually 10 Battlefront games. I was like, oh, alright, I'll do this, except for one of them having to be Pokemon Battlefront, which was that's the thing that convinced me to make the videos in the first place, when I realized that I could make the joke of this new evolution called EE3on. I was like, yeah, no, I've got to do it. I've got to make these shitty videos. And there's got to be this many of them, otherwise it's not funny. Top 10 celebrities who play Battlefront, that one was originally going to be very different. That one was going to have like clips of all these celebrities with me doing impressions of all of them, overlaid onto like synchronized clips of them speaking. And there was going to be in there like Ozzy Osbourne, and it'd be like, Chevy, get me Battlefront, right? And just kind of parodying them in that way. I was gonna have famous Dex in there. In like the Hose Mad song, he's doing the robot at one point, and I was gonna be like, this actually inspired the robot emote in Star Wars Battlefront 2015. And I thought that was pretty funny. But then when I came down to actually like list them, I realized that almost all of them were musicians. And I was like, well, I can't do that. That'd be just top 10 musicians. And that to me isn't as funny as top 10 celebrities. It's too specific. So I just had to switch a lot of them up. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that, how that one turned out. Then the top 10 dark Battlefront mysteries that will never be solved. That one actually came while I was trying to think of like a 10th video idea. And And yeah, no, there's all these super shitty, like, creepypasta type videos where it's some guy who sounds like he's got, like, some kind of severe learning disability. Number 15! Like, that kind of shit. So it's just like, fuck it, make the shittiest, laziest version of this possible, just like those channels do. Go on about some random bullshit to fill the time. And yeah, it turned out exactly how it should have, which is identical to those kind of videos. And the top 10 players one, right? I cannot remember why, but when I sat there, I was like, okay, like, these are the people that I want to have in the video. I need to think of something to say about each of them. I then figured, okay, well, what if I, like, wrote a little fucking limerick for each of them? And then that turned into, what if I make the whole thing, like, start off in this kind of rhyming manner and then switch to, like, this shitty rap partway through and so, yeah, no, that one was fun to do. I actually, like, forgot that that's how I did it until I'd uploaded it. I'd be like, oh damn, I did that. But number one for, like, the scrapped video ideas would have been top 10 unlisted videos. And it would have been, because I have loads of random clips saved. Because I never saved gameplay, I'd only ever save things happening while playing the game. So, like, if there was a particularly funny conversation, I would save that. If there was something significant that happened in the gameplay, I would save that. I wouldn't save just like, oh yeah, in this match I got 60 kills, suck it. That to me is not interesting. Because if I want to see a match where I get 60 kills, I'll open the game and get 60 kills. It's the same reason I don't like montages. I think montages are pointless. Anyone, literally anyone, can save clips over whatever period of time and then stitch them together to make it seem like incredible gameplay. I like unedited gameplay, where it's like, holy shit, this guy's on fire the whole way through. Like, he fucking jumps, headshots this guy, immediately spins, headshots this guy, rolls perfectly behind cover, takes out another one. Like, that to me is much better than, here's a headshot. Here's a headshot from 2 weeks later. Like, that's not interesting to me. And saving random gameplay isn't interesting to me. So I have loads of unlisted videos of, like, pretty funny shit. But then it comes down to, firstly, a lot of that will be, again, in-jokes that will have some element of personal information that I don't feel it would be right to then have public, even to, like, the fucking audience of, like, 12 people that are gonna click it. I don't like the idea of, like, hey guy, remember when you, like, did this embarrassing or vulnerable even thing from, like, 2, 3, 4, like, fucking 6 years ago? Well, now other people get to see that moment. And again, it's not like just clipping things that they don't know about, it's clipping things to then look back on with that group. And to then take it out of that group and give it to a wider audience, that to me, again, that's just in bad taste. That's not good. So that's a whole bunch of the videos eliminated. And then the ones that don't fall under that are their own videos. Like, they're not ones that are going to be, like, edited and shit like that, but they will be videos that, like, stand on their own. It'll be like, this is the video where this happens, and that video already exists. I don't want to then take that video and just have it there again. Like, what's the point of that? It already exists, so you don't need to do it again. And that just kind of eliminates almost everything. Then you're just choosing from things that aren't very funny or are in some way poor taste or mean-spirited And I just don't think that that makes a good video. I think it would have been the most interesting video without those constraints, because there's a lot of great stuff there. But it's not for everyone to see, so the video doesn't get made. And those were the top 10 scrapped video ideas for Star Wars Battlefront 2015.